I was sitting alongside my senior analyst, sitting in the office of the chief technology officer and the director of development. And there was this other little guy just sitting at the corner of a desk working. Just looked like a nerd. So he said, well, how did the assessment look? What do we look like? So I looked over at him and I looked at my senior analyst. I said, man, it looks like a effing Christmas tree. I said it outright. He was like, what? What do you mean? I said, a Christmas tree got a lot of red lights. Y'all are in a bad position.
Welcome back to the High Ticket AI Systems Podcast. Everyone, please welcome one and only Mr. Kevin Baker. Kevin, how you doing today, my friend? Welcome to the show.
Doing great. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. It's a pleasure to have you. Now, can you please give us and the audience some quick context as to what the company does and who you guys serve best?
All right. Quick context. We focus on cybersecurity services, professional services, risk management, cybersecurity risk management services for our clients. Our main clients their industry is pretty much in the healthcare industry. However, we do have quite a bit of customers in the manufacturing and local county government as well.
Now, when you say cybersecurity, can you kind of give us like what that kind of means in simple terms? Because before I got into the space, I heard cybersecurity. I'm like, what the hell is cybersecurity? So like, maybe for some folks out there that don't really know what that means, you want to
Yeah, that's a very good question. In fact, I had a client, their licensing department asked me, what's cybersecurity? And I was tickled by that. So, many years ago, it was called information security. And as the technology evolves, there's new trends. Similar to a good example would be the cloud hosting, what we call cloud hosting today. It was years ago, it was hosting your services in a data center where you have like Rackspace and GoDaddy and all these other things. And now everything became cloud. You have shared services in the cloud and so forth. So with cybersecurity, it's just that new trend. It's evolved to that. The hackers back then, they call it a cyber world. But it's nothing but a new name that they use for marketing, and they're educating the students in today's classrooms. It's the cyber world we live in, and everything now is a cyber warfare, cyber world. But it's the same technology, the internet, hackers, securing the internet. That's what it boils down to. What can you do to secure your data in the internet that's transposing back and forth on the internet? So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you so much for the simplification there, my friend. Can you give us an example of like what a hacker would want to steal inside like healthcare? Like, are they trying to go after revenue? Or are they trying to like go after people's private information like social and like just like information like?
So it's many different things. It depends on their purpose. Traditionally, the hackers, the bad actors of today, they're a younger crowd. They're in their teenagers, most of them. And when I used to do it, I never had instructions on what to do and what to follow and how to do.
Wait. When you were a hacker?
Yeah. Long time ago.
Yeah, you have to get into this.
Yeah. Yes. So there's instructions for these kids to follow on the internet. And what they do, the bad ones, they look to steal your personal information, credit card information, billing information, and so forth, and then to sell it to the highest bidder. There's companies that's looking to buy your information to create false credit cards or false accounts to do certain things. There are hackers that are good hackers, good actors. They will compromise, hack your system, and they will turn around and tell you your system has been hacked, and these are the things that you need to do to improve it. most companies listen to the advice and take it from there. I could give you a few true stories, but just to keep it real simple, um, the door locks that you purchase today from your hardware store, the big orange guys, the big blue guys, or even the regular retail stores. Those stores sell, if you go in there, you see different classes of locks for your door. The reason being is that the hackers figured out a way to pick those locks, very simple. And then they provide the advice, the recommendations on how they could secure the locks. So now the manufacturers are now making secure locks. You pay a lot more. You pay $60 for a lock, opposed to you were paying $8 for a lock when we were in college. But now you're paying $60 for a lock. There's a reason why. The lock is more secure. So those type of things, it happens. Another one, there's a well-known computer manufacturer today. We actually give them a report. We found some false, some bad information that was being collected, and now they offer service. You supply chain security service. When you order a laptop computer from them, you pay for that service, and they make sure there's no malware installed on that machine when it goes through the supply chain. Because a lot of stuff come from overseas, then it gets to sometimes it's manufactured in the US and sometimes it's manufactured overseas. But many hands are touching it. You never know what's getting installed. So it's a good thing, but like every good thing, someone is there to abuse it or do a knockoff or do whatever. But yeah, we focus on helping entities secure their data and have low risk across the board.
You brought it up, and we have to go back, Kevin. So, what was that transition like? Like, I guess, what were you doing before you owned BIMASS, my friend? You mentioned you were a hacker. I got to hear this story.
Yeah, so that started back in the early 90s. Fast forwarding into the late 90s, it was really fun. Really, really fun. Didn't do it for the money, just, I
It
guess,
was
for
a,
the fame, the bragging rights.
it was a
That's,
game to you,
yeah, it was a game. It was a challenge, and I love challenges,
right?
and I don't like to lose. So I nearly got in trouble a few times, and the oh crap moment hit, and I had the opportunity to really get paid to get this done. And it kind of just evolved from there, and used to spend a lot of late nights, starting work late at night and into the wee hours of the morning to do this stuff. And I got tired of it. The challenge wasn't there anymore. It was too easy. A lot of vendors started writing applications and tools to, all the secrets that we have, the secret tools that we had from the dark web, they kind of embedded into their application, their tool to automate. They made money. So the challenge is not there. So I quickly got into management and decided to do this stuff on my own. So I started BIMASS 14 years ago, and that just evolved from professional services. We do retail hardware, software products, but yeah, it's been there, done it. Very familiar.
I feel like there's this movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. He's basically a fraudster, and he's like frauds the system for years and years and years and years. Tom Hanks is in it as well. And basically, the FBI, catch me if you can. FBI, the FBI could not catch this guy. Like, they tried everything, and he was always one step ahead. And eventually, I think he just got tired of running. I think he just turned himself in, or Tom Hanks did catch him. It's been a while since I saw it. But anyways, Leo DiCaprio, he had the option to either go to prison for a long time or actually join the FBI. And he said, you know what? I'm actually going to be a good person and like help catch the fraudsters. And I feel like that's kind
Yeah,
of you. That's
yeah,
how situation, my man.
yeah, yeah. It's really nice to join them. Unfortunately, a lot of the stuff that we see on television doesn't necessarily happen in a real world. Because I've been involved in one particular case incident we just happened to stumble across some activity that's being captured by a product that was made in the US, and it was sending traffic to Asia, network traffic to Asia.
What is that?
So
For clarification, what's network traffic?
what's network traffic? So anything that's any data that's transported across the internet circuit from point A to point B. So it captures data packets, which is payloads, or so whatever it's your social, it's any type of data you're moving, financial, uh, energy information, what healthcare information, any type of data that's being transported on the internet lines from point A to point B, uh, you could see those payloads. So that traffic of data, that packet of data, was being transmitted. A copy of it was being transmitted to Asia. So we said, "Oh crap, this is not right." Um, we got the FBI involved, and they said, "Well, capture as much information as you could capture, and send me your report." That was it. Nothing else. So they basically did nothing.
No, yeah, exactly. And I want to ask, how large was their operation? Like, I guess if you can quantify it.
My lord. So this was widely used in the state of Alaska. Upon further research, when we did more digging, there were some major cities in Florida, Georgia, some other state, it's been years ago, that were using this little black box for the traffic system. So it was tied into the traffic system, which has images of your driving information and all the other stuff. So there's so all those readers that they have, this box was connected to that network.
That's tough, man. That's very unfortunate. So
It is.
how does one go about, like, that's the problem, right?
Yeah.
Hackers. How
Yeah.
does your company essentially, if you could simplify it, of course, it might go over a lot of heads for some people, but like, how do you prevent that from happening for the clients that you serve, my man?
Well, I believe in the principles of information security, cybersecurity. It's many organizations tend to, when they're asked the same question, they tend to look at technology to plug the holes to prevent it. But that's not the answer. It's the people, the processes, and then the technology. So your organization have to be committed to wanting to make that difference. That's the people. The processes are making sure that you have documented policies and procedures that are repeatable, that you follow, everyone follows, which comes along with training and awareness and so forth.
Like an
And now,
SOP, like.
yeah, and now you have technology. You could buy whatever technology product that there is to support where you want to go. So having that principle, that mindset, it goes a far way. Technology is just not the answer. Technology is going to fail. But if you have internal processes and practices, you could help prevent that failure. If you have proper internal processes and practices, you would be able to assess the technology that you're putting in, like that little black box. You would have assessed it and know that there's an issue with it. So, yeah, people, process, and technology. That's how it's solved.
That's a great answer, actually. Take me back to 2014. I guess, what was the mindset that you had when you became an entrepreneur? You said, "I'm doing this for myself now." Like, what was the internal dialogue? How was your self-talk? Was there any fear involved? And then obviously, I mean, congrats, over a decade in business, but, like, talk about the early days, man. Those are always some golden nuggets.
So, yeah, that was interesting. I, at that time, 2013, rather, is when I actually left state government. So I've been in state government for about 12 years. Uh, I retired in 2013, did 11 and a half years, had 10 years to be vested. At that time in 2013, um, I was an executive of several state government departments. And you get to see true politics, how it operates.
Government
some
areas.
some things you agree with and some things you don't agree with. But to survive, you need to support those that you don't agree with. It's
That's
politics,
that's tough. Yeah.
which sucks. Well, it came to a point I had enough of that. I said, F it, I'm out of here. They said, Baker, what are you gonna do? I said, hell, I don't know. But I'm gonna figure it out as soon as I walk out this door. But
Right.
but before I did that, I during that time my dad was in the hospital, just one foot in the grave already. Actually, he lost one leg already. And watch him going through knowing what he's been through and watch him going through these, suffering and so forth. I say, life is too short. You need to do something to enjoy yourself, have fun. And my dad worked for government, so I saw a lot of what he'd been through as well. And spoke to my oldest sister about it. She said, well, what are you going to do? You got kids to support, blah, blah, blah. I said, you know what? I have faith. I have confidence. The I've learned, one of the things that I've learned while in school, and it was a recruiter from Advanced Micro Devices, AMD, Intel's competitor. They said the one thing no one will be able to take from you is the knowledge that you have. Yeah. And you have to have that confidence in yourself. So I was very confident that I will survive. So the day after I left the state, I got calls. I got calls to work for the big five consultant firms. I was in government. They wanted to leverage my skill set, make money. I'll make money. I said, no, I'm going to do this myself. Well, I did it myself, but I did it wrong because I was a freelance consultant and made a hell of a lot of money. And Uncle Sam, you know what he did to me?
Bastard.
So my accountant said, you better get incorporated, buddy. So immediately I did. One thing evolved from another. It was pure cybersecurity, information security consultant. And a lot of customers wanted better technology solutions. They felt that their technology partners were just sales reps and sell them something to beat their numbers. Came in there, gave them a lot of advice. So started selling established partnerships with the manufacturers and distributors. And that's how it started selling computer equipment, networking equipment. And it started to grow where I needed more resources, which is a good problem to have. And it just grew and grew and grew. And a lot of it just came together. And through COVID, thank God, I decided to have that relationship with the manufacturers and the distributors because everyone had to work remotely. No one had laptops. So when I tell you I was sending pallets of laptops, that's how we survived because you couldn't do that one-on-one consulting and going to the office and doing all that stuff. Everyone was paranoid and did you get your COVID shot? Do you have a mask? Do you have this? Do you have that? Those laptops sold thousands of laptops, which kept the company open and things kind of got back into where it needed to get into. So yeah.
Yeah, COVID was an interesting time for a lot of folks. I mean, going from in office every, Monday through Friday for years to having to completely shift gears and go
Mhm.
remotely. Um, I mean, I'm glad you guys, had a solution with shipping the laptops. And just for clarification purposes, When you say your team ship pallets of laptops, I am assuming on behalf of your clients or like
Yes.
intern. On behalf of
Yeah.
your clients. That's what I thought.
Yeah. The
Cool.
clients ordered laptops, and they needed so much for their offices, mainly government customers. And it was just actually at one point, I sent a whole 42-foot trailer of laptops.
That's insane. That's a lot of laptops, my man. Like if you
A
really
lot,
think about that, that is a lot of
a
laptops.
lot of pallets.
For
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
Yep.
Uh, I'm curious to know, I guess about retention because I know in our first meeting, like 85% of the company's rev comes from repeat business. Which hats off to you. I feel like that is a major achievement and just something to be proud of. Basically means that once clients sign up with you, they stay with you. The question I want to propose, Kevin, is like, what's the secret to that? Like, do you have a specific secret sauce of like keeping customers happy? Maybe like when a problem arises, you notify them first, or like, do you have like a meeting cadence, or you're just damn good at what you do, so they they stick around?
Well, for podcast and broadcasting purposes, I'm just damn good at what I do. Just,
Yes, sir. Yes,
uh,
sir.
but I keep it real. I keep it real. Got a true story. I'll keep it quick. Large customer we had. Actually, they were under 100 employees. We got in the door to do some risk assessment work and prepare them for an acquisition. And I was sitting alongside my senior analyst, sitting in the office of the chief technology officer and the director of development. And there was this other little guy just sitting at the corner of a desk working. Just looked like a nerd. So he said, well, how did the assessment look? What do we look like? So I looked over at him and I looked at my senior analyst. I said, man, it looks like a effing Christmas tree. I said it outright. Just he was like, what? What do you mean? I said, a Christmas tree got a lot of red lights. Y'all are in a bad position. I just went on with my day. So he left the room. When he left the room, this chief technology officer and the director of development and all that stuff, they looked at me and said, do you know who you were talking to? I said, no, I'm just nonchalant. No idea. Who the hell is he? They look at me all frightened. Said, that's the owner of the company.
Damn.
I knew the CEO, but I didn't know the owner. However, because of my honesty with the owner, he told them that they better keep us on contract so they could get to where they need to get to.
Absolutely respected you.
Absolutely, for being honest. And we got in the door initially by being honest. So some people don't like to hear the truth, but if you ask the question, I'm gonna tell you. I'm tell you my professional opinion. So just keeping it real, and the customers like that. And I find that because they have that trust in us, if there's anything that's coming up that they need assistance with, it doesn't necessarily have to be cybersecurity. It could be a technology initiative, and we're great at that. We will get that business.
People don't want to hear the truth, but I think the truth is necessary. And
Yes.
I think if you really cared about this other person, whoever this person is, you are doing them a disservice by not saying your shit lit up like a freaking Christmas tree.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Just keeping it real.
it,
Yeah.
it, exactly. It might stink for a second, but let 24 hours go by. They're going to say, hey,
Feeling, the
thank you for
feelings
that.
might get hurt, but
Exactly. Exactly. Absolutely. When it comes to like winning new business in the cybersecurity now, for anyone out there in the audience that might be in a similar position as you or might also own a cybersecurity company, what do you feel like is working for the company, or what are some things that you tried in the past and you're like, definitely don't do that. Like that shit was a waste. Anything you wanna tell the audience?
I think I think the mistake a lot of competitors make is that they go in and they try to sell, to do an upsell. We don't ever try to do an upsell. Customers know upfront what our capabilities are, what we have the potential of doing upfront. We let them know. So it's not, we get an engagement to do risk management services. We will let them know upfront after we give the report. These are all the things that we can help you with if you ever need help. And they remember that. Um, so for us, just being open and upfront and confident in what we're telling them, the advice that we're giving them, I think that established a tight trust relationship. And that's how it's been working for the last 14 years. We have probably the few customers we've lost was due to an acquisition, huge acquisition, probably out of our ballpark.
Exactly. You can't
So
control
yeah,
it.
when you have companies like Philips Healthcare acquiring startup companies, it goes into them. They have big cybersecurity firms, larger than we are, to provide these services, and they have it for many good reasons. It sucks, but that's the route that they take. um, but other than that, if it's not an acquisition, I think we got just about everyone. The few that we lost was through an acquisition.
That's pretty impressive, man. Hats off to
Yeah,
you. I
yeah.
I have a question. I'm not gonna lie to you, Kevin. I'm such a novice to this space. How does a cybersecurity company typically charge for services? Is it like a headcount thing? Is it like a scope of work thing? Is it like how does that work?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Um, that's a very tough one. So it's sort of modeled like how the big five consultant firms are modeled for professional services. The rates are usually on the lower end of the top five big consultant firms. So if you find a good cybersecurity consultant company like us, you're somewhere in the mid to upper $200 per hour range, just for regular work. If we're doing emergency work, that depending on what type of emergency work it is, the rates just drastically change. Um, However, that has worked, still works not so well today. That has worked for many years, and we found that a lot of customers, the budgets were getting cut. Just the change of industry. What's going on in this world today? Budget cuts. Folks are laying off. The big boys are laying off, so no one has money to spend. Hence the reason why we developed our own risk management tool, and we've had that for about 4 years now. So it helped bring the hourly rates, take it out of the picture, where they could use this AI tool, um, web-based tool, and to do a lot of things that we were doing. Our whole intent for that product is to remove the body that you hire, that security guy that you hire to do a lot of that administrative work, smart work. That tool does it all for you. So you could have your executive assistant run the tool at a fraction of the cost.
Absolutely. And I think that is probably where not like where the industry is going per se, but because AI is here and because we can build tools a lot faster than probably previously. And sure, you have a technical background, but like with AI, I'm sure it speeds up the process. I think that is kind of again where the industry is going, at least from our perspective as well. Like handing businesses the tools so they can
Mhm.
implement themselves,
Yeah.
and we'll like consult you on how to use the tools for X number of period of time, like X time, and then you guys essentially just take it over, kind of like turnkey.
Yes, a turnkey solution. And if they want a professional to come in and analyze, assess that they've done what they're supposed to do, or just validate. Sometimes the regulated industries, they need someone, the third party, to come in and validate, verify what's being done. So the consultant hours are minimal, but we're making the revenue on the tool, and the trick to that is volume. So it's just the tool. It's very, if you, for example, if you're a healthcare entity, every healthcare entity have many vendors that they do business with. All those vendors that touch, access, store data for them, they have to do assessments on them. So now your healthcare entity use our tool, and that third party may not have a tool, and they may say, "Wow, um, can we get access to that tool? Can we get our own license?" And that's how we've been able to acquire new customers. One client in particular, we've had over 30 new clients from that one customer. Um, so it's doing its job. It sells itself. We don't have to go out there and try to sell it.
I have to ask a clarifying question. How did that happen? So was it a healthcare entity that was client one, and then
Yes,
they
client one. That's the main client, and
okay?
that client has to do risk assessments on all vendors. So a lot of it came from. I'm going to answer your question. A lot of it came from. You remember when Home Depot and Target got compromised?
Yes.
It was third-party vendor issues. So now it's kind of mandatory. No, you got to do these assessment on your third parties. So now these third parties, they're not in this space, but they know they need to do it. They don't want to buy these expensive tools out there. So what we did, see all these expensive tools and they're all complicated to use. We simplified the whole process. And now that's why it's happening how it's happening.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you so much for the clarification. Kevin, what would you say is the number one goal that BIMASS is looking to achieve over the next 12 months?
The number one goal that BIMASS is looking to achieve in the next 12 months is to be acquired.
Really?
Yes. Hot
What
off the press. Hot off the press. There you are. You got the news. That's our goal. I'm getting pinged every day from all the, I guess, the consultants that works for private equity firms and M&A and all this other stuff. But in 12 months, that's the goal.
I'm going to be transparent with you. My goal is to be acquired as well. The catch or caveat is nothing less than 8 figures. I feel like, sure, multi 7 figures after taxes and a bunch of BS. I just don't see that happening. Like, I don't think I'll be satisfied with that. But over 8 figures, I'm like, all right, I'll start taking a serious look at it.
Yeah,
I am your eight
yeah,
figures, right? Okay,
yeah,
cool. That's fucking awesome, man.
yeah,
Honestly.
yeah.
What do you feel like life looks afterwards after? Is it pure retirement, go out and travel, hang out with the kiddos?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. Um, I have that mindset, that entrepreneur mindset. I already have another entity established, doing
Shit, okay.
something. Yeah, totally different. Application, software, web development. That's
Gotcha.
what we do. That actually kicked off in late January, and unbelievable responses. Unbelievable. Uh, Unbelievable. I didn't expect it to explode like that.
Why do
So,
you think it exploded?
so everyone has a little stubbornness. Every CEO has a little stubbornness.
Of course.
We think sometimes we think we know it all.
Sure.
And I decided to listen to my marketing team. I think it has a lot to do with the marketing team, the work, the effort that they've done to capture the audience, the clients, the prospects. Um, Although I never really liked it, I learned to like it. My calendar, it's at one point I didn't have control of my calendar. Just meetings after meetings after meetings after meetings after meetings. And it paid off. It's working. So I don't do as many meetings anymore because now I have folks who could do it. But I had the right team in place, structured the right way, and I think that was the secret sauce to it.
That's super amazing. So it sounds like a really good marketing team that enabled business development. You were doing
Yeah.
back-to-back sales calls, and eventually you enrolled other clients. That's super
Yep.
cool, man.
Yeah.
I wish you nothing but the best over the next 12 months. I truly do hope that the company gets acquired and you're having a nice ass payday. That sounds super sick.
Yeah. That's the goal, man. I'm pushing for that.
For either company, BIMASS and the new one that's unnamed, where can they find you if I wanted to explore those services?
So they can find me personally or the company.
Both, both, absolutely.
So on LinkedIn, you search for Kevin Baker on LinkedIn and you look for BIMASS. You're probably going to see all my profiles in LinkedIn. BIMASS, www.bimass.com or cybertechholdings.ltd. That's cybertechholdings.ltd. I'm on LinkedIn. You can go to the website. I'm easy to find. I'm not hiding from anyone. Um, and of course, K Baker at the domain name is how they can find me if they want to shoot me an email.
Kevin, thank you so much for joining the podcast, my man. I had a great conversation, had a bunch of laughs, and I learned some new things about cybersecurity. Thanks for
Yeah.
joining us.
Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Audience, till next time.